A deal like this doesn't just change military inventories, it shakes the balance of power in the entire region. China's decision to provide Egypt with advanced missile technology isn't just about weapons, it's about influence, leverage, and reshaping alliances. Israel's alarm over the news is not exaggerated because in the Middle East, every new piece of advanced weaponry changes calculations. And as soon as this deal became public, Prime Minister Netanyahu quickly looked to Washington, pressing the United States for stronger guarantees and backing. The story is not only about missiles, but about the future of global power struggles. From the outside, it looks like a handshake and a signed contract. Chinese officials and Egyptian leaders pose for cameras, smiling as they finalize agreements. At face value, it appears like any other defense partnership. Countries buy weapons all the time, diversify their suppliers, and upgrade their arsenals. Yet the symbolism here runs deeper. On the surface, the exterior shows friendship, cooperation, and mutual interest. But behind that exterior lies a challenge to decades of U.S. dominance in the Middle East. A dominance that Israel has relied on for security and survival. This isn't just an ordinary arms deal, it's a deliberate political statement. Inside the deal, the details matter more than the optics. Egypt is not buying simple equipment, but advanced missile systems. These missiles are designed with extended range, higher accuracy, and faster deployment, giving Egypt more power to deter, or in the worst case, strike. For Egypt, the interior of this agreement is about reducing reliance on the West. For decades, Cairo has depended on American weapons and aid, but that dependency has also meant restrictions and political pressure. By bringing China into its defense equation, Egypt signals that it wants independence, that it will no longer be bound only by Washington's terms. The interior also shows trust because bringing China so deeply into defense is not just about hardware, it's about aligning politically with Beijing's vision of a multipolar world. When the focus shifts to performance, the implications become even sharper. China's missile systems have proven capable in testing and in export markets. They come with modern guidance systems, improved targeting, and technology that rivals some Western alternatives. For Egypt, the performance of these weapons translates into deterrence. In the tense Middle Eastern environment, the ability to discourage threats before they escalate is crucial. Egypt strengthens its position not just against external rivals, but as a key player in the Arab world. For Israel, however, the performance of these weapons is deeply concerning. Israel's long-standing advantage has always been having the best, the most advanced, and the most reliable systems, largely because of U.S. support. If Egypt's performance improves significantly, Israel faces the reality that its traditional military edge may begin to erode. But new weapons always raise questions about safety. Missiles in particular are not defensive shields, they are offensive tools. The safety features in international politics are fragile. Treaties, back-channel communications, and mutual understandings are supposed to prevent misuse. But when tensions rise, those safety features weaken. Israel worries that Egypt's new arsenal, even if intended for deterrence, could be misinterpreted or misused in a crisis. Accidents, miscalculations, or unauthorized launches are possibilities that no one can ignore. The safety net in this deal is not technology, it is political trust. And trust in the Middle East is often temporary, shifting with changing alliances and interests. The unique selling points of China's offer make clear why Egypt moved in this direction. Chinese weapons often come at a lower cost than their Western counterparts, but the attraction goes far beyond price. China doesn't attach strict political conditions the way the United States or Europe often does. Washington has frequently tied military aid and weapons sales to reforms, human rights conditions, or regional peace commitments. Beijing, on the other hand, focuses on trade, strategic partnership, and mutual respect. For Egypt, that's a compelling package. Not only do they get advanced missile systems, but they also receive them without lectures, without restrictions, and with opportunities for technology transfer. China also offers the prestige of working with a rising global power that is challenging U.S. dominance worldwide. For Beijing, the unique selling point is influence. Every deal in the Middle East extends its reach into a region that was once considered untouchable by outside rivals. Of course, everything comes with a price. For Egypt, the price is the potential strain on its long-standing relationship with the United States. Washington has invested billions in military aid to Cairo since the Camp David Accords, and it has always considered Egypt a cornerstone of its Middle East policy. By turning to China, Egypt risks cooling that relationship and facing the possibility of reduced U.S. support. For Israel, the price is anxiety. The country may now need to spend more, innovate faster, and lobby harder in Washington to maintain its edge. For the United States, the price is credibility. If allies like Egypt turn to China, it signals that U.S. guarantees are not as secure or attractive as they once were. For China, the price is risk. By involving itself in the Middle East, it risks being entangled in conflicts and rivalries that could drag it into disputes far from its borders. This is not the first time such shifts have occurred. The Cold War was marked by superpowers competing for influence in the Middle East, with the Soviet Union arming allies and the United States countering through its own partnerships. What's different now is that China is stepping into a role it has historically avoided. For decades, Beijing limited its Middle East involvement to energy and trade, steering clear of deep military commitments. This missile deal shows a departure from that approach. It demonstrates that China is no longer content to be just an economic power. It wants to be a military player in every region. For Israel, the echoes of history are strong. Israel has always depended on being a step ahead in military technology. U.S. support has guaranteed that advantage. But if neighboring countries like Egypt begin to acquire comparable systems from China, the balance could tilt. Netanyahu's immediate appeal to the United States reflects this concern. He understands that Israel cannot allow its edge to shrink even slightly because in the Middle East, survival often depends on staying superior. The request for stronger U.S. backing is not just about money or weapons. It's about reaffirming the alliance and ensuring that Washington does not let Chinese influence expand unchecked. For ordinary Egyptians, this deal has a different meaning. They live in a country facing economic difficulties, social challenges, and political restrictions. To them, advanced missile systems may not immediately change daily life, yet indirectly, they may feel the consequences if relations with the United States cool, if sanctions emerge, or if their country is pulled deeper into global rivalries. For Israelis, the deal fuels anxiety and increases the sense of encirclement, the feeling that threats are multiplying even as alliances shift. For Americans, the deal is a reminder that the world is no longer unipolar, that U.S. influence, once unquestioned, is being tested in every region. The strategic importance of this move cannot be overstated. Egypt is not a small country on the sidelines. It is the most populous Arab nation, strategically located, historically influential, and a leader in the Arab world. A stronger Egypt with Chinese weapons changes the dynamics, not only with Israel, but with Saudi Arabia, Iran, and others. It signals that the Middle East may become another arena of competition between the United States and China, much like Africa, Asia, and the Pacific have already become. The potential consequences ripple far beyond the region. If Egypt successfully integrates Chinese missile systems, other countries may follow. Saudi Arabia, the Gulf states, or even nations in North Africa may begin to see China as an alternative to the United States. That would accelerate a global shift, undermining decades of U.S. dominance. At the same time, Russia remains a player, though weakened by its own struggles. The Middle East could soon become a multipolar battlefield, with multiple great powers supplying different sides and increasing instability. In the final analysis, China's missile deal with Egypt is about much more than missiles. It's about the struggle for influence, the reshaping of alliances, and the testing of U.S. resolve. On the surface, it is a defense contract. Inside, it is a geopolitical earthquake. Its performance lies in shifting balances. Its safety features are weak, its unique selling points are compelling, and its price is high. Netanyahu's reaction is logical because for Israel, the stakes could not be higher. What happens next will depend on how Washington responds, how Beijing plays its hand, and how Cairo balances its old partnerships with its new ambitions. The Middle East has always been a region where small shifts create big consequences, and this deal may be the beginning of a new chapter in that ongoing story.